Thank you. Good evening. Yeah, small correction. It's not my wisdom. I will share the wisdom from the book. Um, yeah, this book is everybody's reading list, and a lot of people recommend it, and most of them have the book in their list. I read this book long time back. It's a marvelous book. So the book name is Autobiography of Yogi. Oka Yogi Atmakatha in Telugu. It's translated into multiple languages and written by Paramahansa Yogananda about himself. Many of us know about different gurus coming to US in a different time frames. We know the Prabhupada ji came because many of us are familiar with ISKCON before, and there is another one, Transcendental Meditation, Mahesh Yogi. All these people came after 1950s. Yogananda came before 50. So, like Vivekananda came because of there is a conference of all religious conference. So he came before 1900s. But Paramahamsa Yogananda came because his guru told him. On top of it, the prediction was going on before he knows anything about America. So we'll cover all that stuff when we go through it. I Today I want to cover like a brief introduction about him and all his books and other things. Then I will also cover a couple of first and second chapter where he introduces about his parents and other stuff. So I went to LA one time and somebody told me that you have to visit Yogananda's crypt. I didn't know anything about what is meant by crypt, CRYPT. So me, my family, my wife and two daughters, we walked to the place, and there, it is a church. Below the church, they have, I don't know whether it's a church or something. When I read about crypt, it says it's below the church. They keep the remains of the person. So that's the first time I went walk through it, and there are multiple square shape boxes with the names on it. And finally, we reached that one, and we saw the Paramahamsa Yogananda crypt. It seems like there are multiple ways people keep their remains. So his remains, I thought usually they take it to India, but they kept it here in LA. So if you go to LA, you can visit that one. So let me share little presentation I did this did. So this is the autobiography of Yogi, and he is well known for writing this book where he wrote from his childhood all the way coming to US, and what happened during his life, how he met with his gurus, and how his dad went to the guru. Like that, a lot of details he covered, and he wrote multiple books. I don't know how many books are there, but these are the books I know. Journey to Self-Realization, Man's Eternal Quest, and The Divine Romance. I haven't read these books. My wife read these three books, because I purchased them. I used to have the Bhagavad Gita, his translation of Bhagavad Gita, which is 2 volumes, and he wrote about the second coming of Christ, which is again 2 volumes, big books. Um, if you are curious, go to the bookstore and pick up this book if they have it, and maybe next time I will get a picture of it. He gives the family tree of Kauravas, everybody in that one. It's a huge list. He put into one page in this one, and he gave his own translation of Bhagavad Gita in this book. So he is very versatile, and he speaks English and very fluent, and he had a desire to pass away while giving the um, discourse. And I read the multiple versions, but in one version they said while giving a discourse, he left his life. That's it. So that happened in LA. So his childhood name is Mukundalal Ghosh. That is his childhood name. He was born in 1893. I think Vivekananda came during that time or before that. So he was born in Gorakhpur, which is in UP, India, and he passed away here in 1952 in LA. This is the place name where his remains are, the Crypt Forest Lawn Memorial Park, LA. And his father's name is Bhagavati Charan Ghosh, and mother's name is Jnana Prabha Devi. So he starts off in the book about his childhood, which he says he is a part of 8 children, 4 sisters and four. Basically, Bhagavati Charan Ghosh had 8 children, 4 sons and 4 daughters, and Paramahansa Yogananda is second in the brothers list. I think he is fourth child, but second in the brothers. That's how he describes himself. So he tells how he brought up there, and he tells about his mom and dad's what do you call lifestyle also. They never had any altercations. Only one, and both of them are very good and very generous. And one time, and also the Bhagavati or Bhagavati, South Indians will call Bhagavati, but Bhagavati Garu is vice president of some railway company there, railways. So he was getting a good amount of money. They had some trouble in the beginning stages, but they were very good. And mom used to give her donations. One time she gave away more than monthly income of Bhagavati Charan Ghosh. So all he said is, if you next time, please be mindful. Don't cross the limit of donating. That's it. That gave a trigger for his mom, and she said, I am not going to stay here. I'm going out. I'm going. She calls the cab and she packs up the stuff and says, I'm going to my mom's place. So she starts going off. Luckily, his uncle, that means her brother, comes over and he tells some wise suggestions to Bhagavati, and Bhagavati says, I'm sorry, it's not my thing, and other stuff. And finally, she gets pacified and she stays back in the house and calls them, cancels the cab. In those days, maybe cab means the jetka or horse buggy. I don't know. Um, that's what he writes there. And then one time she wants to give, somebody comes and says, I we need 10 rupees for some requirement. And she asks his dad, saying that, hey, 10 rupees. He says, why 10 rupees? 1 rupee is enough, no? But she doesn't do anything, but she says, no, she needs 10 rupees. So Yogananda says his my dad always starts with no. Afterwards, he says, okay, take 10 rupees. He removes the, from the purse 10 rupees and gives it to her so that she can donate to the person. So that's how he mentions about them. And they are very pious, and mom does a lot of prayers and everything like that. So one time, what happens was uh, his sister had a boil on her leg, and she was complaining about it and all that stuff. And she starts applying ointment on the boil. So our hero Mukunda says, give me that ointment, I also need to apply. So she mocks at him, you don't have any boil, why do you need this lotion? But Yogananda says, tomorrow it will come there, so that's why I'm applying ahead of time. But she doesn't budge, and she starts mocking at him and other stuff. And immediately he says, by tomorrow I will have a boil, but if I get the boil, your boil is going to become 2 times the size it is right now. That's what he says in the fit of fight, small fight between this brother and sister. So the next day morning, the boil was there on the Mukunda's arm, and her sister's boil became double the size, and she got shrieks and say, runs to mom, says, "Mom, this guy became like a magician or something," and other stuff. Then the mom tells him that never use your word to hurt anyone or yourself. So he says that boil was stayed, and he needs some surgically remove it. He says that mark was still there to remind me that to use the words in a perfect way or in a better way or improve somebody's life, not to degrade them. So that's why I tell this incident to many people about the power of words. We use words so loosely. However, the words have so much power. We need to use them correctly. Today only somebody told me, yeah, I was listening to something in that one. They tell about like there are different sounds. If you listen to a bell, you know that it's just a clock or a temple bell or anything like that. Nobody needs to tell you about it. The same way, if you are in a room, you are in a hall or something. If somebody shouts fire, we will be running all over the places. Or a snake, we will be running. So that word has so much power to move you. The same way, if that is the thing, so why do you want to use that word power to something else? So that's the story in there. Yeah, I will let you read the books if you need later on. I will not cover word by word. Then he one time he sits with his bra- father's friend, or who is basically subordinate to his father, but very good friend. So he comes, and his name is Avinash Babu, employer of the Gorakhpur office of Bengal Nagpur Railway. So Bengal Nagpur Railway, he is the vice president, his dad, and this employee comes home, and he was chit chatting with Mukundalal, and he says, because of me, your dad comes to know about my guru. So he Mukunda asked, how is that? So one time this Avinash Babu, or in Bengali name Avinash Babu, wants to go to see his Guruji. But Bhagavati was not that keen on the saints and other things. So he tells him that, why are you wasting time going to all the monks and other people? Just do your work and forget about it. Um, the Avinash Babu was so moved by that, and he was thinking, Guruji, I want to come to see you. My boss is not giving me the vacation. Please do something. So Bhagavati Babu was going on a carriage, and he sees this employee on the street. He gets down and tells the carriage to go away, and they start walking. And suddenly there appears somebody in front of them, and Bhagavati, this Avinash falls on his knees and says, immediately starts shouting that, um, Lahiri Mahasaya, Lahiri Mahasaya. And that person tells Bhagavati, you are too strict on your employee, and he disappears right in front of his eyes. Bhagavati gets mind boggled by that and says, wow, not only that, giving you vacation, I will apply my vacation. Take me to your Guruji. That's how he comes to know about the Lahari Mahasaya. So he goes to Lahari Mahasaya and bows down to him with his wife. He takes his wife also. That's the first time he comes to Lahari Mahasaya. I'll tell you who is Lahari Mahasaya. Some people may not know about it because I went to one place and we did meditation, and I told the younger girl, she's in 40s, and I told her that you need to read this book, and she said, who are they? So I said, okay, there are people who doesn't know about Lahiri Mahashaya or Mahavatar Babaji. So before we go there, this book has 49 chapters in it, and in that one he meets multiple people. Like here, I just gave some of them. Sacred Mother, who is the Lahari Mahasaya's wife, and gleans some messages, and basically he. Before our blogs and other things are there, he does the same thing with multiple people. Like Rabindranath Tagore, also he sits with him, talks with him, and compare the schools where what they know about it. And Gandhi, Luther Burbank, I'm not sure whether anybody knows. Luther Burbank is in LA. He is a scientist, or you can say a gardener, kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly, but he's a gardener who bought multiple rose systems that what do you call uh, antu. In Telugu, we call antu. Basically, growing different roses on the same plant. So Luther Burbank is famous on that. I think there is a park or something in the California, LA area, Luther Burbank. So he meets all those people, gleans their information, put it in a chapter. Didn't find the chapter on even he meets with Bose, who is our Indian inventor. He sits with him, and there he did research on the plant. Plant has a life on it, so that is also there. We will cover when it comes. So all those things are there. So here is the pictures of his gurus. Mahatar Babaji is the many of you might know through Rajnikant's movie Baba, where he talks about Mahatar Babaji, and there are beliefs that he is still available, and a lot of our meditation people also have contacts with him in their meditation. That is Mahatar Babaji, and his disciple is Lahiri Mahasaya. And Lahiri Mahasaya is the influencer for his dad, and little bit here Mukunda also gets something, and also there is a story about Mukunda's birth, and what is the omen given to him by Lahari Mahasaya before he was born and during that time frame. And then he comes to Yukteswar ji. He becomes his guru. So this is the Guru Parampara he has. So Yukteswar ji is his guru. So mom and dad went to Lahari Mahasai, and that's how they got introduced to him. And they were following him, and they bought his picture. And there are stories about Lahari Mahasai where nobody can take a picture of him. One guy took 11 shots, like the olden days we used to have that you might have seen in the movies. They put a plate and cover her head and flash it, and like that 12 times they take it, but nothing comes out. And finally, he feels so sad and asked Guruji, I want to take your picture. He said, I will give you a pose. And he gave one pose. That is the only picture it is available for Lahari Mahasaya. That's what the book says. Uh, so, so these things we are hearing nowadays also through different Gurujis, different Swamijis. We hear them, and I don't know about you. I become little skeptical. Is it possible? But it is written there before I was born. Like in this book is written like in the 1950s or 45 or something like that. So it is all written. These things like manifestations and other things also there. They didn't write when it was written. Yeah. Even the Guruji manifests right in front of him sometimes. Just now we talked about Lahiri Mahasaya appearing in front of Bhagwati Babu. So these things are there in the book, and one time that is one thing. And then what happens was his mother's passing away. The next chapter is on the mother's passing away. Okay, necromancer. That is the name sister calls about Mukunda. Mukunda has become a necromancer. That means I think it's a magician or a mantragadu, something like that. Necromancer. So uh, one time he and his father goes to Benares, and they were staying there. There is some marriage of his brother going on, elder brother. First one is a son for him, for Bhagwati Babu. So they were sleeping. Dad and son were sleeping there, and in a bungalow, and there is a mosquito curtain around them and everything. Suddenly, he sees a form of his mother outside the curtain, and she says, "Wake up your father, awaken your father." She says in a whisper, and take him first available train at 4 o'clock in this morning. Rush to Calcutta if you would see me. So he tells that thing, and she disappears. So he gets surprised, and he says he thinks, okay, this is symbol for or a message from my mom that she is passing away. So he wakes up his dad and says, "Dad, let's go at 4 o'clock train. Mom's is in a critical condition. If we don't go, you won't forgive yourself, and I won't forgive you." That's what he uses the term. 4 a.m. But dad says, "No, it might be something you thinking about it. Don't worry, nothing will happen." When we came, mom is in good health. She is in wonderful health, nothing going. However, they miss the 4 o'clock. By 6 or 7, they get a telegram from the brother saying that mom is serious, come over. So they take the next train, which might be like 8 or 10 o'clock, something like that, and they reach Calcutta. By the time they reach Calcutta, his uncle was there, maternal uncle. He Mukunda asks, "How is mom? How is mom?" He doesn't tell him anything, but he says, "Let's go home. Let's go home." So by the time they go home, mom is already passed away, and they were both of them are inconsolable. Even though his dad is around 40 years of age, he doesn't get married. He stays single and continues life with that way. Uh, Mukunda had a very lot of grief because of he is very much connected with his mother, and he remembers her eyes. So one time he sees Divine Mother, and his words final healing to my wounds. He says, uh, life after life in the tenderness of many mothers. So he looks at the eyes of the Divine Mother. I think he's getting from Kali Mata's picture from Calcutta. So he looks at the thing, and he comes out of his despair and other things by looking at the Divine Mother. Here another incident is there where dad says, um, no, Mukunda is always had a keen interest to run away to Himalayas, yeah, because he listens about Himalayas and how saints are there and other things. So he wants to run away to Himalayas. Let me finish this one. Yeah, this is over. He wants to run to the Himalayas, and one time he finds his friend Dwaraka Prasad, young son of a landlord in Bareilly. They were in Bareilly now, and they want to go to Himalayas. Uh, so when he tells to his brother about his wants to go, his brother mocks at him, saying, "Where is the orange robe? Uh, he can't be Swami without it, without that." That's what he says. So he wanted to run away. One early morning, Dwaraka Prasad and himself they run to take the money what they have, and they go to Nainital, Himalayan foothills of the Himalaya, and Ananta is his younger older brother. They go to Nainital. By the time they go to Nainital, his brother Ananta finds out that, and he chases them and finds them and brings them back to Bareilly. So that is the only one they go out, and he cries, and but he was there going on. Next time, his dad says, "If you don't run away, I have a task. Uh, you have to go and meet with Pranavananda. My friend is there. I have a letter to give to someone, and I don't know his address. But you go there, you meet Pranavananda. Pranavananda will know where he might be, and he will take care of handing of the letter." That's what dad says. Hmm. He doesn't know where Pranavananda is, or he doesn't know where his friend is. All he knows is the name of the friend, Kedarnath Babu. Yeah. So the letter is for Kedarnath Babu. However, he doesn't know anything about it. So he asked him to go to Swami Pranavananda or Pranabhananda. So, and father joyfully says, "Mind, no more flights from the home. Don't run away from the home." That's what he says. So he goes to Benares now, and he is only 12 years of age, Mukunda. He goes and reaches Benares, and he goes to Swami's residence. From the door, is a door was open, but still he knocks. He pushes the door and goes inside, and there was a stout man sitting with a lion cloth and on a lotus posture, slightly in a raised platform. So he goes and says, "Are you Oh, he say instructed. He greeted me as an old friend. He greets him as an old friend, as a Baba Anand. Mukunda Anand is calling. Or blessed to my dear one. That's what basically he is taking, like a Chiranjeeva, something like that. So, are you Swami Pranavananda? That is the question of Mukunda. And he says, "Are you Bhagavati's son?" He says, "Yes." Um, then he removes the letter from his pocket and hands it off to him, saying that this is, and he knows there is no need to tell anything. He knows who. Oh, dad gives another introduction letter to him, like this is my son and other things for Pranavananda. But Pranavananda doesn't need. He already know who is Mukunda and other things. So Mukunda was thinking, whatever my dad gave introduction letter, it is no use. But he gives it to him, and then he says, before he say anything, the Swami says, I will locate Kedarnath Babu for you. And he goes into meditation. Then he says, not even going to meditation, he says, I am enjoying two pensions. And Mukunda asks, two pensions? He says, yeah, one from your father's recommendation when I worked in the railway office. The other is from the recommendation of the Heavenly Father. That means God is giving me another pension. Your dad's recommendation, one pension coming to me. So I am done with earthly duties in life. That's what he says. And oh, he asks, what kind of pension do you get from the Divinely Father? He laughs and says, I mean a pension of a fathomless peace, a reward for many years of deep meditation. I never crave for money now. So that's what he said. That is the pension he is getting from the God, which everybody wants it, that divine peace. So abruptly he terminates his conversation and he sits motionless into meditation. So he doesn't know what to do. He was just sitting there, and after 1 hour, he opens eyes and says, "Little sir, don't get worried. The man you wish to see will be with you in half an hour." So maybe he was sitting for half an hour, and half an hour. Then Swami is saying that your friend will come in half an hour. He was thinking he didn't go anywhere out. He was sitting here. Those days, no picture of phones. How he will be coming to see me? That's what he was wondering. But after half an hour, he sees some footsteps coming, climbing the steps, and he was surprised. And he goes down. Swami announces and says, I think Kedarnath Babu is nearing the door. That's what he says. He was perplexed and jabbed, and he is amazed. And he goes to Kedarnath Babu and the person who is coming, and he asks, are you Kedarnath Babu? He says, yes. Are you Bhagavati's son? Waiting for me to meet? That's what he asked. He says, yes. How do you happen to come here? We will ask, how did you come here? And he says, everything is mysterious today. An hour ago, see, 1 hour, I told 1 hour he was sitting there. And 1 hour ago, Swami came to the Ganges where I am taking my bath. And Pranavananda approached me and says, Bhagavati's son is waiting for you in my apartment. And will you come with me? Uh, and this guy, Kedarnath Babu, says, yeah, I will. But he was not able to catch his speed. He walked and he tried to catch, and he is not able to. That's what he says. He outpaced me, and without with his stout walking shoes. That's what he says. How long will it take for you to reach my place? That's what he asked. Then he says about half an hour. See, half an hour back he located him, told him to come, and half an hour he came here within all in an hour. Mukunda says, how is it possible? He didn't leave this place. He was right in front of my eyes all along. How did he come over? Kedarnath Babu gets irritated. Are you thinking that I'm telling a lie? I saw him. He came to me, told, and then walked away from me. That's what he says. So, same person in two places, that is another story. So, like this, there are multiple stories are there, and that ends the third chapter. So, we'll continue like this. I will read as much as possible and cover in half an hour in the coming weeks. So, for today, we'll end with this one. Thank you.